It's not all tropical paradise on the island. Along with Ferdinand, Prospero's brother Antonio has landed.
And now, with most of the crew in a magical sleep, Antonio plots more treachery with Sebastian, the brother to the King of Naples.
So far, you've heard us talk about magic. You've heard us talk about love. And in this scene, we get to see those two things in conflict. We've got Seabass, Sebastian, and Antonio here. Prospero's tricksy servant, Ariel, who's a spirit who flies about the island. She's put most of the folks that have crashed on the island asleep, but left Antonio and Sebastian awake. So before we even begin, tell me about what's about to happen here between you two.
Well, everybody is asleep. It's just me and Sebastian, and I'm about to try and plant some wisdom in Sebastian's ear.
What do you mean by wisdom, Antonio?
I'm going to try to convince him to take his opportunity, seize what should be his, the crown.
Let's set this up a little bit. Let's give a little exposition here. Who are you to Prospero? How do you fit into this story?
I'm his brother, but I have usurped his dukedom. So
Yeah, and we use that word a lot, right? Usurp. What does that mean?
It's like I uprooted him from his seat of power.
And what happened to the seat of power?
To me,
It's good to be king, right? Yeah, it's very
By the
good.
help of my brother, the King of Naples.
Great. Well, tell us more about you, Sebastian.
And I am the younger brother to the king, and there are two people ahead of me in line for the throne. The king's son and the king's daughter. So I have no realistic ability to be king in my lifetime. And that is where my temptation lies. And I believe Antonio is a pretty genius manipulator. And he knows that if he can control who is the King of Naples and give me that power, he may be able to control me further on down the line.
Great. Let's get into it.
What a strange drowsiness possesses them.
it is the quality of the climate.
Why doth it not then our eyelids sink? I find not myself disposed to sleep.
Nor I. My spirits are nimble. What might, worthy Sebastian? Oh, what might? No more. And yet methinks I see it in thy face, what thou shouldst be. The occasion speaks thee, and my strong imagination sees a crown is dropping upon thy head.
What, art thou waking?
Do you not hear me speak?
I do.
Noble Sebastian, thou lettest thy fortune sleep. Die, weakest while thou art waking.
Thou dost snore distinctly. There's meaning in thy snores.
I'm more serious than my custom.
Prithee, say on.
Will you grant with me that Ferdinand is drowned?
He's gone.
Then tell me, who is the next heir of Naples?
Claribel.
She that is queen of Tunis. There be that rule Naples as well as he that sleeps. Oh, that you bore the mind that I do. What a sleep were this for your advancement. Do you understand me?
Methinks I do.
And how does your content tender your own good fortune?
I remember. You did supplant your brother Prospero.
True. And look how well my garments sit on me, much featured than before. My brother's servants were then my fellows, now they are my men.
But for your conscience.
Sir, where lies that?
Phenomenal. Great, you two. I want to open it up to everybody else. What do you hear? What questions do you have hearing it done after we've given the circumstances? We've already know what's going on. And now to hear the interaction between these two conspicuors. What's happening?
Well, there's a status differential between the two of them. I think that's a key to not only this scene, but all their scenes.
And so who has status? Who is of higher status here? You are 2 steps away from the crown, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
I think what's interesting is we both use you to each other, which is that more formal address.
That's a great, but I think that's great, Annabelle. And you're talking about formality, and we're talking about status here. When someone is of higher status in some of these plays, what does that allow you to do as a higher status person?
I can like drive over them a little bit. Yes, you have the ability to bend situations to your will, right? Shakespeare was a descendant of the Middle Ages. We're living in the Renaissance, correct? So that's that time, we're talking about 1500s on up into the 1600s, right? But he inherited a set of beliefs. And one of those was the great chain of being. The great chain of being that God is at the top of everything. And you go down a couple of steps, and there's the king. So the king was actually closer to God than he really was the lower classes. So when we talk about status, it's a little different than when we think about, the President of the United States. It goes a little bit deeper than that. So, as the Duke, as somebody who is way up the food chain, you have the ability and the latitude to move things around, right? There's so much power there. And if you get this person on your side, what does that mean? I can control them.
Right.
Just
Yes. It's chess pieces, right? I'll take this. I've got that person in my back pocket. That means I can take this. So we've got this power-hungry person. And then we've got you, who just never even saw it coming. Great. So we've talked about objective in the past, what we want. But sometimes there's something in the way. What do we call that? Obstacles, right? So talk to me about the obstacles that you two face in this scene.
I think one of my obstacles in this scene is, at first anyway, Sebastian doesn't seem to be getting what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to put down. He doesn't grasp.
And how does that manifest itself here in the language? Nor I, my spirits are nimble.
He says, what might, and he says, no more. I see it in my face. Then he keeps saying, what, are you asleep? And every time I say something to him, he's like, oh, you're snoring.
Yeah. And we have several midline stops, don't we? Nor I, my spirits are nimble, period. And what is a midline stop? Can someone tell me what that is?
It's a strong shift in the, as you say, in the middle of a line, which makes it somewhat more significant than if it were to happen at the end of a line. Shakespeare chose to stop the phrase right then and give you a jumping off point into the next thought.
So that's great, Annabelle. So when we look at this section, nor I, my spirits are nimble, period. What might, worthy Sebastian? Question mark. Oh, what might? Another question mark. No more. It's almost as you get a feeling, he's feeling this person out, like a boxer in a ring. Where am I going to find my way in here, right? Let's read it again. Take this part on. You said that's your obstacle. Where's my in? Where's my in? Let's see how you use the language in order to bring that out a little bit more. Let's start at the top.
What a strange drowsiness possesses them.
It's the quality of the climate.
Why doth it not then our eyelids sink? I find not myself disposed to sleep.
Nor I, my spirits are nimble. What might, worthy Sebastian? Oh, what might? No more. And yet he thinks, I see it in thy face, what thou shouldst speak. The occasion speaks thee, and my strong imagination sees a crown dropping on thy head.
What, art thou waking?
Do you not hear me speak?
I do.
Noble Sebastian, thou lettest thy fortune sleep. Die thou, winkest while thou wakest.
Good. Did you feel that? Oh, what might? Oh, no more. I was just thinking out loud, but seriously. Right? Finding your way in. And then finally you say, I don't know where this is coming from. I mean, I never even thought about this before, but I totally see like a crown. and it's just, I mean, what do you think about that? Right?
This kind of reminds me of a suspense movie in a way.
Yeah, or like one of those procedural dramas, like you have CSI or something like that, where there's a conspiracy or there's some kind of suspenseful moment of intrigue here. But this is Shakespeare, so it's a little bit different than film acting, right? What's a big difference that we might get between the two?
Just like how big it is, theater.
Why? And when we say that, what do we mean by that? That's a great point, Blake.
Because it's like, it's live, and like the people are there, so you have to make sure they can see, catch everything.
And sometimes the people are where? Way in the back. We've got to make sure that we're communicating. I want you to play this, totally disregard any kind of text stuff we've been talking about, and play this with all the pauses, all of the turns and the eyebrows that you can, okay? We're going to take it from, do you not hear me speak? And we'll take it down, I'll stop you.
Do you not hear me speak?
I do.
Noble Sebastian, thou lettest thy fortune sleep. Thou rather winkest while thou art awake.
Thou dost snore distinctly. There's meaning in thy snores.
I am more serious than my custom.
Prithee, say on.
Will you grant with me that Ferdinand is drowned?
He's gone.
Then tell me, who's the next heir of Naples?
Clarabelle.
Great. So now, let's zoom out a little bit. Let's use the words. Think on the thought. We're not trying to create atmosphere. We play our objective. We play our intention, and the intensity gives us the atmosphere.
Do you not hear me speak?
I do.
Noble Sebastian, thou lettest thy fortune sleep. Thou rather winkest while thou art awake.
Thou dost snore distinctly. There is meaning in thy snores.
I am more serious than my custom.
Prithee, say on.
Will you grant with me that Ferdinand is drowned?
He's gone.
Then tell me, who is the next heir of Naples?
Clarabelle.
She that is queen of Tunis. There can be that can rule Naples as well. There can be that can rule Naples as well as he that sleeps. Oh, that you bore the mind that I do. What a sleep were this for your advancement.
Great. One of the interesting things I think that we have here, I am more serious, and we probably allied that. I am more serious than my custom. Well, we're missing a foot, right? And what I love that you did instinctively there, we've got all these shared lines at that point. Whilst thou art waking, thou dost snore distinctly. There's meaning in thy snores. I am more serious than my custom. Prithee, say on. You get one beat in all of these shared lines to go. Keep going. What was that?
I might see it.
I might see it. So that short line gives you one beat to shift just a little bit. Great. Let's just go through the end here. Will you grant me that Ferdinand is drowned? Play the intention. Work your scene partner. And the atmosphere will take care of itself. The mood will take care of itself.
Will you grant with me that Ferdinand is drowned?
He's gone.
Then tell me, who is the next heir of Naples?
Clarabelle.
She that is queen of Tunis. There be that can rule Naples as well as he that sleeps. Oh, that you bore the same mind that I do. What a sleep were this for your advancement. Do you understand me?
Methinks I do.
And how does your content tender your own good fortune?
I remember you did supplant your brother, Prospero.
True. And look how well my garments sit on me, much cheaper than before. My brother's servants have been my fellows, and now they are my men.
But for your conscience.
Aye, sir. Where lies that?